Hello guys, welcome to my humble YouTube channel where I bring you fanfiction that will brighten your days. Before we start, a subscribe is greatly appreciated, and don't forget to leave a like and ring the bell icon so you won't miss exciting new fanfiction stories. Rimuru's Journey for His Beloved, Arifureta, From Commonplace to World's Strongest, by Sakura Arashi. Chapter 12, Classmates' Revenge and Rimuru's Goal. At the same time that Hajime met you and fought the Scorpion, the Heroes Party took on the Orcus Dungeon once again. Actually, the Heroes Party has now decreased. Before, the whole class was part of the Heroes Party, but when Hajime was thought to have died, Aiko wasn't just gonna stand there and watch more of his students die. So she protested against the church, and the church, not wanting to clash with her more, gave up. The church allowed those who didn't want to go to war to join Aiko-sensei in a village. Now all that's left of the Heroes Party are 5 students: Kuki's group and Hayama's gang. The 5 boys and girls were led by Nagayama Jugo, a big judo guy. Hayama had apologized for setting off the trap, but Shizuku noticed he had waited for the hero Kuki before apologizing, knowing he would be forgiven by Kuki, leading everyone else to forgive him. Shizuku, not liking how her classmates was being manipulated, told this to Kaori. Kaori was already angry with Hayama for always bullying Nagumo every day. So this time she just ignored Hayama and his gang. Eri is best friends with Shizuku. Her magic's necromancy, and she wears glasses and black clothes. Suzu is a lively girl that gets along with everyone. This was the 6th day of their journey into the dungeon. They were currently at the 60th level, just 5 levels behind the highest recorded achievement. However, Kuki's group was stuck. No, rather than not being able to advance, they kept getting nightmares of what happened on that day. The level looked pretty similar to the bridge where Hajime had fallen, giving them flashbacks of what had happened that day. In particular, both Kaori and Shizuku was just blankly staring into the abyss. Shizuku was staring into the abyss because of her concern about Rimuru. Whenever she looks at the abyss, she thinks of where Rimuru is and how's he doing. Actually, most of the students in Meld's goal was to find Rimuru, who has went deeper to find his brother. It's basically the same for Kaori. Hearing Rimuru's words, she now fully believes Hajime is alive, so now she's determined to get stronger for Hajime. "Are you two all right?" asked Suzu. "Yeah, we're all right, thanks," replied Shizuku. "Kaori, let's go," Shizuku said. Yeah, let's go," Kaori replied. Kaori's eyes gave off a strong glow. There were no despair or escapism in those eyes. She was determined. "Ha ha ha, it's funny to see Kaori is actually stronger than me," Shizuku told herself. Although she shows a brave face, inside she's anxious to see Rimuru, who had jumped back into hell to save his brother. Seeing Kaori's determination, Shizuku resolved herself to keep going. Kuki, who doesn't know how to read a person, thought that Kaori was lamenting over Hajime's death as she stared into the bottom of the abyss. He concluded that the gentle Kaori was suffering from the death of a classmate. He believed the smiling Kaori was forcing herself. For Kaori, Hajime was special, someone she deeply cares about. But to Kuki's view, Hajime was a classmate to Kaori that died, making Kaori feel miserable. So he tried to offer comforting words to Kaori, not realizing he was just making things worse. "Kaori, your kindness and sympathy is what makes you so great, but you can't always be caught up in your classmate's death. You have to move forward. For sure, that is what Nagumo-kun would want." "Wait, Kuki. Stop, Shizuku. Even if I am harsh, don't try to stop me just because you're a childhood friend," Kuki said before turning his attention to Kaori. "It's okay, Kaori. I am always here for you. Even if Nagumo's dead, I won't die. I won't let anyone else die. I promise not to make Kaori sad anymore," Kuki said, making Shizuku sigh in disappointment, to which Kuki just ignored. "Kuki, just shut up. It's annoying for me to hear you say the same thing over and over again," Kaori finally said, as she was tired of Kuki saying those stuff over and over again. She turned her head away from Kuki, while she kept moving forwards with Shizuku. Both Kuki and his classmates were perplexed to see the kind Kaori to say something like that. When Shizuku told Kaori how much Nagumo has been suffering, she changed because she had noticed she was being too kind. Hayama, who had now realized that it wasn't his imagination and that Kaori was really avoiding and ignoring him, became more obsessed in taking her. Kondo, Nakamura, and Saito were sending dubious looks at Hayama's state. These three was still together with Hayama. Birds of a feather flocked together for these four. Hayama was awkward for a moment, but soon he regained his friendly attitude. Meanwhile Eri and Shizu both understood what Kaori felt on that day Hajime disappeared, so they supported her decision. For Nagumo-kun to make Kaori change so much, I will kill him if I see him, Shizu energetically said. Shizu? I don't think you can kill him if he isn't alive, Eri replied. Kaori and Shizuku showed a joyful expression at the two's spectacle. After a while without much trouble, the group reached floor 65, the highest attained level in history. Once more they were at the place where they had faced Behemoth. The second they walked close enough, a 10 meters magic formation pulsed with dark red energy. That was a familiar sight for them. Looks like we'll have to deal with him, Kuki said while a cold sweat dripped down his forehead. The other members also had a strained expression on them. Seriously, if Rimuru had been here already, then why is this guy still alive? Ryotaro shouts while surprised. Meld responded to them with a calm voice and a stern expression. The origins of these monsters are unknown. Even if they've been defeated, they will always come back to life. Don't forget to secure an escape route. Meld's first priority was to issue commands to ensure an escape route. The subordinates obeyed immediately. But Kuki wanted to speak his mind. Meld. We are not the same as that time. I've become many times stronger, and won't be defeated again. Certainly we can win. That's true. This time for sure it's our victory. Ryotaro shouted out with a fearless smile. Meld just shrugged his shoulder like he couldn't help it. With their current abilities they should be okay. Similarly, he now had that same smile. Kuki's stats name. Amanikawa Kuki, age, 17 years old. Gender. Male level. 46 class. Hero strength. 560. Vitality. 560 resistance. 560 agility. 560 magic. 560. Magic resistance. 560. The magic formation finally lights up and explodes. Their nightmare had appeared before them. Goo-ga. The behemoth roared as it appears before them. A glare full of fierce intent to kill was sent to Kuki's party by the behemoth. There was a single girl that glared back at the monster, not giving a care to the tension building up. The girl declared, "I will overcome you and see him again." That girl was Kaori. Now the battle had begun and Kuki made the first move. Myriad of soaring wings, reach the heavens, soaring flash. The curved slash of light struck the behemoth with a roar. He wanted to show that he wasn't the same as back then, and it was proven. Gu-ra-ga. The attack hit Behemoth's chest, injuring it. The attack caused dark red blood to drip onto the ground. We can do it. We are certainly stronger. Nagayama left side. Hayama take the rear. Meld take the right side. Rear guard ready magic. High grade magic. Oh. He actually gave good instructions. Ha ha ha, I am proud of their growth, thought Geld. Did you hear? All hands, follow Kuki's command? Meld shouted and ran to wrap the right side of the behemoth with his knights. Everyone started to move at that moment and encircle the behemoth. Behemoth started to charge at the rear group, each step of it decimated the ground. In your dreams, I won't allow you. Ryotaro and Jugo, the two biggest members of the class, quickly huddled the behemoth and started to wrestle with it. Using their physical strength, strengthened by magic, they took the behemoth's rush while their feet slide on the ground. Ga. Ra. Each of the three gave out a yell and strained their muscles. They were able to stop the momentum of Behemoth. It stomped on the ground in anger at that. Supreme flash that cuts all. Absolute sever. Shizuku's Batojutsu hit the Behemoth in the horn. Even with a sword artifact that added to the sharpness of the magic, it stopped midway and couldn't complete the sever. As expected, you're very tough, leave it to me. Grind, crush, blast, grand hammer. Meld attacked the horn and with Shizuku's sword halfway in it, Meld's heavy attack sliced off one of the horn of Behemoth. Guuraaga. The Behemoth goes on a wild rampage with all its might after the cut. This rampage blew the four people away. The gentle light that embraces all, halo, suddenly nets made of lights caught the four, absorbing the shock. Kaori had casted a shape-shifting defensive light magic that killed the shock. Instantly after that, Kaori started to cast a healing spell. Heaven's blessing, heal universally, restore heaven. They were all being healed. The spell was a ranged recovery spell that was at an intermediate level. It could heal multiple people at the same time. Kuki thrusted his sword into the wound made by him earlier and used an attack spell. Light burst. The enormous magic stored in the holy sword flowed into the wound and caused an explosion. Ra! As the behemoth roared in anger, it brandished its sharp claws at Kuki. Ku! His armor deflected the damage, but the impact still passed through and caused a coughing fit for him. The pains was just a moment. Kaori quickly followed up with a heal. Heaven's blessing, restore his strength, restless heaven. This spell lost its multiple healing function but can rapidly heal one single target. The behemoth started to glow red as it started to activate one of its skill. Suddenly the behemoth leapt directly towards the rear guard. This was since they never even dreamed about the behemoth being able to do something like this. As the red-hot horn of behemoth charged the rear guard, Shizu stepped up and casted a spell. Herein a sanctuary, enemies of God shall not pass, absolute virtue. The dome of light appeared just as the behemoth landed like a meteor. A terrible sonic boom and shockwave spread from the area and the surrounding floor broke into cobwebs. Though Shizu's barrier was able to absorb the initial impact of behemoth, the behemoth kept on attacking. Shizu realized she wasn't gonna last 10 seconds like this. Just as the barrier was about to break, a spell was activated. Heaven's blessing, a mystery here, yielding heaven. Shizu's body was wrapped in light, and with it the amount of magic poured into her spell increased. This was Kaori's magic recovery spell. I love you, Kaorin. Shizu screamed. Soon the red-hot glow of Behemoth's horn disappeared and Behemoth fell to the ground. Taking this chance, the rear guard finished their chant and casted an advanced spell that took 5 people to cast. Everyone step back now, Shizu shouted. After everyone had cleared the area close to Behemoth, a single word was heard. Scorching sun. High-temperature flames gathered into a sphere and burned the surrounding area like the sun. The scorching sun was made directly above the behemoth and was 8 meters in diameter. Immediately after it swelled, it was dropped onto the beast, instantly killing it. Did we win? I think we did. We won, we actually won. Seriously? Everyone was looking stunned at the area the behemoth was. Bit by bit mutters of victory spread throughout. That's right, we've won, Kuki said as he rose his sword above his head. The sword seemed to respond to his feelings as it started to sparkle. At his victory cry, the others came to the same realization and cheers arose. Guys were patting each other's shoulders, while the girls hugged each other. Meld and the knights were impressed. Kaori, are you okay? Shizuku asked. Yeah, I am. We've definitely grown stronger. From this point on, they would be entering unexplored territory. They had shaken off their past and advanced. Hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond. On Rimuru's side, he was pretty close to Hajime, but Seal told him not to interfere for now, so he slowed down on his descent. Rimuru is sitting down next to a fire he had made while is surrounded by a barrier he made. Right now what he is doing is contemplating on what's his real goals and how far he had come. That's right, my purpose, my goal for this crazy cycle of pain. Since he had been reincarnating over and over again, he had to keep leaving the people he would meet, his families from where he reincarnates he would leave. Each time he does that, the pain in his heart keeps getting worse. But if it meant seeing her again, he would endure it. In his mind, he's already devoted on his decision to find her, so there's no turning back now. After spending a few years being engaged to Chloe, he began to realize how big the hole in his heart left by Shizu really was. The failure he felt was something he wouldn't be able to endure. He wanted to marry Chloe already, but what he needed to do first was save his destined one, the one he failed to save. So first he went back in time, and after meeting with Shizu again, he revealed all that had happened in the future. Shizu was happy with Rimuru. She also felt guilty making Rimuru do all those things, but Rimuru assured her it was okay, he said. Shizu fell in love with Rimuru and so did he. They loved each other very much, but one day, in the Falmouth invasion, she was killed. Rimuru lost himself and was about to destroy the whole timeline when Chloe appeared, calming him down and returning him to his senses. Rimuru in despair went back in time again and like last time saved Shizu, fell in love, and like again she was killed by Yuki this time, and like again Rimuru lost it and destroyed Yuki. He would have permanently lost himself had Chloe not been there to stop it again. Again Rimuru went back in time and the same happened. They fell in love and this time she was killed by Ivaraj. Again he was calmed down by Chloe. He kept coming back in time desperately trying to save her, but each time he would fail and she would end up dead. Rimuru thought of just killing all the main enemy, but Seal had warned him by doing so he would change the timeline and the progression of his nation wouldn't happen. No matter how many times it had happened, he could never get used to Shizu dying in his arms over and over again. The pain of him seeing who he loved die in his arms. He couldn't just revive her like what he did with Xian, because unlike them, for whatever reason Rimuru found out Shizu's soul had been broken. His thoughts was that this might have happened because her soul had a hard time being summoned to this world. For the last time Rimuru went back in time again, but this time Seal had came up with an idea he would go back to the present and find her soul that had been reincarnated instead. Therefore he wouldn't change anything. Before he left the past, he said goodbye to Shizu, promising her they would reunite in the future and from there live happily together. He gave Shizu a kiss before leaving the past to return to the present. After returning to the present, Rimuru had told Chloe he would first look for Shizu's reincarnation or maybe just her soul before they could get married. Rimuru was afraid of the cardinal world changing without him, since he knew it would take a very long time to find Shizu's soul in the vast existence. Through his own selfishness he froze the whole existence of the cardinal world, freezing everyone in it, even their thoughts was frozen. Rimuru felt extremely guilty about this, because he didn't want to be left behind or he didn't want anyone to keep going without him. He froze everything. He wanted to find Shizu's soul, but he didn't want to leave his friends for a long time. He didn't want anyone to progress, so he froze the whole existence, leaving only the black numbers to defend the cardinal world just in case their world should get under attack. Now a few thousand years had passed and he was yet to find Shizu's soul. He never gave up searching for her. He promised Shizu they would meet again. The pain of watching her die in his arms hundreds of times, he wasn't gonna let that go in vain. Shizu. I am not gonna give up until I fulfill my promise to you, he mutters. Hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond, hollow diamond. I don't know why, but just this once playing the villain feels very good, someone mutters. He was located in a place filled with purple-black spheres. Around him was clouds. Dear, don't make him suffer too much, another voice said. Love, she's right. In the end that's us, right? The three who was talking was Rimuru, Chloe and Shizu, but they were the supreme deities. They're located in their realm and each of those purple things was a universe. Usually the god Rimuru would connect his conscience to his pseudo-body, making it him. But this time he gave this Rimuru a mind of his own, a soul of his own. He was joyfully watching himself progress while being the antagonist at the same time. Shizu was with him joyfully watching as well, while Chloe was shaping up another universe for her own entertainment, and Seal is making a universe where Rimuru and her are lovers. It's not like they're evil, but if you're the supreme deity who holds absolute power, good and bad wouldn't hold any more consequence. Actually good or bad wouldn't even exist. Through them infinite amount of universe exist, including infinite amount of different timelines. The only way for you to kill the three is to erase the infinite amount of timelines, universes and realities. But that's just impossible, and say you managed to do that, then all that would happen is you would disappear and after a few million years they would appear again. Whatever they think of will literally just appear. Nothing can exist without them. If they disappear, so does existence. They're the point of existence itself. They create gods for fun. Create fate, destiny or adventure for their entertainment, evil or good. Such a concept is useless.